आप सभी को मेरा नमस्कार, जय हिंद। William Wordsworth defined poetry as the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. It takes its origin from emotion collected in tranquility. In the poetry section of Flamingo book, there have been prescribed 6 poems. Today, I and you, we will together enjoy, appreciate and admire these 6 poems one by one. Let us start with classical poetry, A Thing of Beauty is a Joy Forever by John Keats. First few lines of the poem. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness, but will keep a bower quiet for us, a sleep full of sweet dreams, health and quiet breathing. A thing of beauty is a joy forever by John Keats. This poem is added in the syllabus to give the students a taste of classical poetry. John Keats was an English romantic poet and he was trained to be a surgeon, but then he completely devoted his entire life in poetry writing. A Thing of Beauty is a Joy Forever is an excerpt, is an extract from Endymion, a pure poetic romance. Endymion is based on a Greek legend. It's about a shepherd, a poet called Endymion, and he had vision of Cynthia, goddess moon, and then the enchanted youth resolved to seek her out, wandering through forest and under the sea. This poem, the theme of this poem, A Thing of Beauty is a Joy Forever, is that a beauty of a beautiful thing, the beautiful experience that we acknowledge and experience looking at and experiencing different objects of the nature, that beauty never diminishes, it keeps on increasing by each passing day. At the same time, I am also reminded one of the most beautiful and powerful lines by John Keats, which was a part of Ode to a Grecian Urn. Few lines I would definitely quote here. Truth is beauty, beauty is truth. That is all you know on earth and all you need to know. The second poem I would take is A Roadside Stand by Robert Frost. Robert Frost is an acclaimed American 20th century poet. Some of the famous poems of Robert Frost is Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, Birches and Mending Wall. Who can forget the inspiring lines from Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening? The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. In this poem, A Roadside Stand, Robert Frost has presented the life of poor, deprived people with pitiless clarity and deepest sympathy and humanity. It is about the economic differences between urban and rural people. In the poem, some rural people, they put some stall with fruits and vegetables on display, hoping for those who passes going through the highway that they would stop and they would do some purchase. In this way, this countryside people will also have some money coming, currency of the city coming to their hands. But it never happens. None of the vehicle passing through their stalls, they stop to make a purchase. Yes, sometimes they do stop, but they stop to make a criticism, to criticize that by putting the stalls, they have damaged the ambience and view of the highway, of the beautiful scenery and the ambience. The other four poems are of reputed contemporary poet. Two of them are by women. I would start with My Mother at 66 by Kamla Das. My Mother at 66 by Kamla Das. In this poem, the poem touches a personal code of looking objectively at a close relative. The theme of the poem is aging. The theme of the poem is the expectation of elderly members of the family from their children. The theme of the poem is the fear of getting separated by their family members. The poem is about Kamla Das. She starts, it's about a journey and it's written in one single sentence, in one line. In the poem, Kamla Das starts her journey from her mother's home to Cochin airport, and her mother also goes. Sitting in the car, they travel together. The poem is all about the emotional experiences what Kamla Das has to go through looking at her elderly mother who is 66 years old. Few lines of the poem I would certainly say that driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me, doors open mouth, her face ashen like that of a corpse. And I realized with pain that she was as old as she looked. There is another poem by a women writer, that is Adrienne Rich and Jennifer Tiger. In this poem, Anne Jennifer Tigers gives expression to the voice of women suppressed and oppressed by the institutions of marriage. And this poem is about the hardships, challenges and struggles a woman experiences in her married life. This poem, Anne Jennifer, is a representative of a married women from the middle class family where she is tortured, where she is suppressed, where she is denied any kind of freedom, and she is not happy in her married life because she does not get any support from her husband. Few lines of the poem. And Jennifer's tigers prance across the screen, bright topaz denizens of a world of green. They do not fear the man beneath the tree. They pace in chivalric certainty. The next poem in the order I would take Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda. The works of Pablo Neruda is full of easily understood images which doesn't make his poem any less beautiful. Pablo Neruda won Nobel Prize for Literature in 1971. The theme of the poem is quite introspection and retrospection, analyzing our actions and thoughts that we do and that we speak. The world has become now a mad race where people go on running and speaking without reflecting that what is the effect of the actions and the words they speak. And the theme of the poem is also about creating a mutual understanding among the necessity of creating mutual understanding among human beings. Few lines of the poem I would certainly quote, that is, now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. For once on the face of earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. It would be an exotic moment without rush, without engines. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. And in the order, the last poem I would say, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum. It's by Stephen Spender. This poem is not added in syllabus, not included in syllabus, but I would always say that poems and stories, they, even if they are deleted, is no more a part of syllabus, they do not lose their significance, they are always important. The poem is about social injustice and class inequalities. The poem is about the disparity between formal education and the reality of the poor people. In the poem, our school is described in a slum, where what is the condition of the classroom, what are the things are in the display in the classroom, and what is the condition of the slum children who come to attend the class and who took the class. Are they really serious? Do they have enough opportunity to study and understand the world map, the work of Shakespeare's and other eminent writers of literature, because they are struggling with the basic necessities of life. So here I have described these 6 poems of the Flamingo, and poems are the soul of literature, and poetry recitations, if you try it, you will feel, you would understand that why literature is so important and why poetry is called the soul of literature. It gives you the confidence, it makes you a public speaker, it enhances your understanding of the beauty and the life of this nature and world. So keep on studying, reciting poetry, and keep your love and confidence intact in literature. Keep on reading. Literature is a wonderful subject, and poetry is the soul of literature. Jai Hind. Jai Hind.